Much has been said about the terrorist group, ISIS, in the last few days, rightfully so. ISIS is a vile mob of fanatics whose butchery knows no bounds. I'm confident that President Obama's targeted action will degrade and destroy this menace. But there's another evil organization in the world today that, like ISIS, has zero regard for humanity, zero. They're kidnappers, they're executioners, they're violent extremists who murder innocent civilians. They're terrorists who cower behind women and children, even using them as human shields. They're saboteurs of peace and provocateurs of bloody conflict who will not stop their butchery. Once again, I'm not talking about the Islamic State of Iraq. I'm talking about Hamas. Hamas and ISIS are both vicious, corrupt, hateful, evil groups, and both are extreme, outrageous, irrational, excessive, harsh, and radical. Yet for some reason, Hamas brutality doesn't elicit the same horror from the international community as ISIS. How can that be? One of the few differences between these two terrorist organizations is that Hamas has a narrow, ghastly focus: the destruction of the State of Israel. Consider its actions over the past few months. Hamas raided its own limited supplies for housing and general infrastructure intended to repair the destruction that occurred during the last conflict they initiated. But Hamas instead used the stolen materials to build tunnels to hide and infiltrate Israel, infiltrating to kill, maim, kidnap, and murder the innocent. These depraved agitators launched thousands of rockets into Israel, hoping to inflict death and destruction. Their rockets had no aiming devices, no aiming capabilities. They fired indiscriminately, not caring whether they hit a child, a family, a school, or a place of worship. It really begs the question, without specific targets, why fire the rockets into Israel? Madam President, we know why. Provocation. Hamas knew Israel would be forced to defend itself. And of course, that's what the Israelis did. Israel responded, as any nation would, to such attacks by trying to protect its people. And what did Hamas do? It had such little regard for the people of Gaza that they used their own as human shields. Because you see, Madam President, Hamas used Palestinians as shields to carry out a sinister ploy, hoping they and their apologists could dupe the world into blaming Israel. As columnist David Brooks said 2 months ago on PBS, the NewsHour, referring to Hamas, here is a direct quote of this distinguished columnist, quote, "It's a rare moment in military history where a party rejects a ceasefire in order to get more of their own people killed. But that's part of the strategy." Close quote. And Madam President, when Hamas wasn't scheming for more Palestinian fatalities to pin on Israel, it was carrying out public executions on Gaza residents. Take, for example, this. Deaths follow Israel's targeted killings. Here's what it says, quote, "Hamas executed 18 people on Friday, some of them in the streets of Gaza City, in the middle of the day after accusing him of collaborating with Israel, according to media linked to the Islamic group which rules the Gaza Strip. In one instance, about 20 militants dressed in black and with their faces covered brought 6 of the condemned men, their heads covered with cloth bags, to an alley near the Great Omari Mosque in Gaza City after midday prayers. A militant shot the men in the head one at a time with a pistol, after which he sprayed them with automatic rifle fire, the witnesses said. The bodies were loaded into government ambulances and taken away." These are the fanatics that Israel faces every day. A terrorist organization as violent and as extreme as any other in the face of the planet, as indicated by this Wall Street article that I just read from. There are those who refuse to condemn Hamas as they would ISIS. The hypocrisy is stunning. Those who reject tyranny, corruption, and terrorism should denounce Hamas. All those who honor peace and sovereignty should stand for Israel. I stand with Israel. The United States of America stands with Israel. President Barack Obama and Congress continue to affirm America's unshakable bond with Israel and our strong support for the security and safety of its people. For my part, I'll continue to do all I can to support Israel's right to self-defense. I know my colleagues join me in supporting the State of Israel and condemning Hamas for the depraved, horrid, repugnant terrorist organization that it is.